Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. On today's episode we are going to be doing something a little bit different. I feel like I say that all the time, but that's what my channel is. It's just different. So we're going to get into it. I finally invested in a new camera, and so the angles are angling. We've got a little light situation. I'm going to be painting. And my camera's dying, so that's great. I need to charge that. Basically what we're going to be talking about today is astral projection, and it's going to be the start of a series. Kind of just like some filler episodes for when I'm not out ghost hunting, because I can't always be out ghost hunting. Especially lately, my health has kind of been not like the best, so I've been trying to like just like relax and, you know, not stress out about everything and not do too many things at once and take on a bunch of things at once. So I think a good time to start this playlist out in the season. And I think, like, I don't really know what to call this season yet, but the first episode is going to be astral projection. So everything I've gathered through research and that, it's been a fun process researching astral projection, because I feel like I had like known a little bit about astral projection, but not the full extent, and it was very interesting researching that topic. But I figured at the same time I would also be painting while I'm talking about said topic. Today's painting, it's just a little pencil drawing so far, but it's going to be my representation of astral projection. So think of it this way: we are energy conduits, and energy is in the state of infinity, meaning there is no limit, there's no start, and there's no end. Our physical body is a vessel, whereas our soul is infinite. Our body keeps us grounded, but our soul allows us to travel through space and time with only the power of our consciousness. So I realized the last recording I just made didn't have the mic on, so my bad. But we're gonna continue. So what we got didn't get very far, but that's okay, because I also have my baby helping me. He's a big helper today. Also, we trust the process around here. We trust the process. So I'm going to kind of get into the CIA official documents of what we call astral projection. They refer to it as the gateway process. This document was recorded on June 9th of 1983, but it wasn't approved for release until September 10th, 2003. This is something.
Okay.
Okay. It's so crazy, because if it's not like one thing, it's another. So obviously, like last time, I forgot to turn the microphone on, and in the last clip, I forgot to even just get into all my notes and everything. And I'm talking about like I got a lot to talk about, like a lot. So, what is astral projection? Let's get into that first. Astral projection is the idea that a person can intentionally leave their physical body and experience the world from the outside, also known as an out-of-body experience. It is also the ability of a person's spirit to travel to distant places.
Where's the eyes?
Yeah. How does that happen? Next thing we're going to talk about is how does it work. But before we talk about how does it work, I kind of want to like share a little like painting secret with you guys. So yeah, so first I'm kind of just getting like this.
Oh my God.
Kind of just like getting the outside of, I want to make this like, what do they call it? Like not like a vortex, like kind of like a portal. I would consider that a portal. Like I like will continue saying the same thing in different ways, and it's kind of like a bad habit. I'm getting to the hack, I promise. I promise I'm getting to the hack. Okay, we're back. So astral projection is basically the idea that it's the idea that the consciousness can function separately from the physical body through a subtle body called the astral body. Clock that T, catchy. A lot of people like want to know what it feels like, and like the best way it could really be explained is just like an out-of-body experience. Like it feels like you are just kind of experiencing things from like a third person point of view. Like you're looking at your body. Yeah, some people describe it as just like looking down at yourself. Like it could be described as floating outside of your body. Just if you picture out of body, like that's literally what it is. I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. Imagine like looking down at your body. That would be crazy. The thing about astral projection is it's not limited to our world. It's every dimension you could think of, every timeline you could think of. Like it goes on and on. I've dug way too deep in this rabbit hole, and it goes beyond like time travel and like dreaming, and it's just something else, and it's awesome. So this is a pretty long document, but I'm going to do my best to summarize and give you the gist of what is being said in this document. I'm also going to link it in the description if you're curious on looking at it yourself. So interestingly enough, they actually have their own set of instructions on how to go through this process. I'm going to summarize step number 1, which is introduction, which is basically just getting yourself familiar with the process. Step 2 is hypnosis. This one was kind of hard to paraphrase, but the gist that I get from it is that you are basically trying to put yourself into a sleep while keeping your brain stimulated. It does kind of go more into the theory of hypnosis and the psychological aspect of it as well. The third step listed is transcendental meditation. There we go. And this is what they describe as starting from the toes on up and focusing on the sounds around you, such as the rhythm of your heart. It states that exposure to mechanical or acoustical vibrations in the range of 4 to 7 hertz cycles per second can really help achieve the same effect. I can't tell y'all how aggravating it is to relearn everything all over again because I forgot to turn the mic on again and I said a lot of shit. Just gonna go over it again. We got a lot done. Not a lot, but we, you know. So as you can see here, I forgot to turn my mic on again, but it's okay because I'll do a voiceover. So you dip the brush in the paint. I like to put a little bit of water in there to kind of like dilute a little bit. And then, yeah, I flick it around. Give it a little, it gets a little messy too. We're 2 for 2, guys. We're 3 for 3, actually. Just kidding. I'll talk over it, obviously. It's annoying we even have to go there again. But the big difference between astral projection and dreaming, and well, lucid dreaming, I mean, is that astral projection is considered deliberate, whereas dreaming is just part of your subconscious. And my next segment is going to be dreams because I feel like astral projection is very similar to lucid dreaming in a sense that I just personal experience, I guess, because when I go to sleep, like I lucid dream every single night, like. And not only do I lucid dream every night, but I always go to the same city. It's actually like the same world, and I could draw you a map because there's different cities in this world, and they have like different purposes, and they all have different vibes, and it's kind of fucking weird. But I'm an artist, so I actually like have drawn these things on my iPad, which I will include in my next series. Sorry, my next episode. But when you're astral projecting, it's just different. It's a difference also is that with astral projection, there's a lot more control. And then lucid dreaming, there's still a little bit of control, but it's not like, you can, from what I've read, you can learn to astral project while you're lucid dreaming. That's a thing, and that's why I believe I've done it accidentally. And that kind of results in like waking up tired and fatigued and just like, I've had some crazy dreams. Like I've had like I've had a few dreams like this, but the one I can specifically remember where I think I astral projected, I was like 8 years ahead of time, and I had like not seen any of my family, and I was like devastated and crying. And I remember these 8 years, like like there were things that were happening between. Like I remember it felt like 8 years. It was freaking crazy. Okay, so I have to like kind of start over because I forgot that I plugged it in the microphone, but it didn't turn it on. So there's a lot of clips where there's like sound, and then there's clips where there's no sound at all, and I have no idea what I said. But this is gonna be the start of a new series where I kind of talk about something, give you all the research that I've dug up, and I paint at the same time. So as you can see behind me, I have this painting. I just have so many plans. So if you like art and if you like storytelling or just listening to new information in general, I'm your person. So I've been wanting to kind of just like add more to my channel, get more engagement, just kind of something different. And I feel like this is perfect because I love painting. I love talking about weird shit. But it's for the right audience. We all feel like being weird is cool. So I just feel like a whole lot of people don't really know what goes into astral projecting, and I don't think like people understand the consequences or like the side effects. Or so basically what that means is like your subconscious is separate from your body, and that kind of makes sense when we're talking about like spirits and ghosts and everything like that, because obviously they're not in their body's long gone, but the energy remains and the energy lives on. Let's get back into the painting, and we'll kind of start talking a little bit more about astral projection. Okay, so I've already gone ahead and mixed together pink, orange, white, and then this like golden, like this burnt golden brown color. And that's the color I'm gonna go with. We're gonna see if it needs anything else, but we're just gonna kind of. So I'm gonna say word for word what this document says right here. It says that fundamentally, the gateway experience is a training system designed to bring enhanced strength, focus, and coherence to the amplitude and frequency of brainwave output between the left and the right hemispheres, so as to alter consciousness, moving it outside the physical sphere, as to ultimately escape even the restrictions of time and space. It's like a little orangey. It's giving very much. It says verbatim, the participant then gains access to various levels of intuitive knowledge which the universe offers. I'm gonna have to go in with like a little bit more white. I might just go in with a little bit more yellow, like the orange, not the orange yellow. It's like this color. Also, a lot of people who have had like near-death experiences experience astral projecting afterwards. So the next thing mentioned in this document is the role of resonance. It is described as beat frequencies that are designed to achieve transcendental meditative states. It's what brings out the complete alteration of the fundamental resonance pattern associated with the frequencies produced by the human body. So this is where the vibrational state kind of comes from, but they call it brain stimulation. It says the resulting vibration is received and transmitted into the brain. It is said that ancient shamans used to use astral projection as a way to gain wisdom. And with that being said, that they did this to basically like travel through time and do their own research, basically firsthand. Also, another thing to consider is the younger you are, the easier it is to open up the possibility of astral projection. Just like it's kind of very similar to being able to like see spirits. Like kids can see spirits. It's because they're younger, but it's because they have more of an open mind. They're not clouded by judgment and logics, which we could be logical and scientific all we want, but at the end of the day, there's just like some things that we cannot prove. And with that also being said, people, I had somebody comment on my Facebook post about like, because I was asking for like stories about astral projection and all that. Somebody was like, it's not real. I'm like, okay, that's not what I asked, sir. I wanted to immediately like send him the CIA official documents about astral projection, but I was like, whatever. I need that around here. Okay, this is all just my research. Like I said, I've never like actually experienced any of this, but we have to be open-minded people. I feel like we're not learning, not consistently evolving if we don't keep an open mind to anything and everything. Honestly, like nothing's off the table. we should we should be questioning everything. I have this paintbrush, or it's a toothbrush, but it's now a paintbrush because I ain't brushing my teeth with it. We're gonna dip it. I dipped it a little bit in the paint first, and then I kind of dipped it in the water. I soaked it in the water. Go back over the paint, and then I kind of shake off the excess over a towel. This is gonna get a little messy, but we're gonna just kind of go for it anyway. We take the toothbrush and our finger, and we're gonna kind of like flick it like that over the area we want all the stars to be. And yeah, I kind of already went ahead and did some yellow flicks and stars, but I just added some white just to kind of give it a little bit more dimension. So I'm gonna go over her skin tone because she should not be this dark orange. I'm gonna lighten it up like a lot, and hopefully that gives it more of the effect that I'm looking for. So under the paragraph of consciousness and energy, it says the point to be made is that the entire human being brain, consciousness, and all is, like the universe which surrounds him, nothing more or less than the extraordinary complex system of energy fields. The so-called states of matter are actually variances in the state of energy, and human consciousness is a function of the interaction of energy in two opposite states. Number 12 is holograms. Energy creates, stores, and retrieves meaning in the universe by projecting or expanding at certain frequencies in a three-dimensional mode that creates a living pattern called a hologram. I forgot to add that another reason why ancient shamans used astral projection as a way of gaining knowledge and power and wisdom and all this was because they had actually they had the belief that if you astral projected, you could remove fear of death. And removing the fear of death, I feel like, could be very challenging and very powerful. So I could see where they would want to do that. They used to astral project back in the day was because they wanted to kind of investigate their past lives, know like who they were in a past life and why, like what lessons they needed to learn in this life. They also would use astral projection as a way of contacting and like speaking to their loved ones who had passed. And then also another reason was they wanted to like kind of tap in with their spirit guides, which is it's a very beautiful thing on it. We're gonna go in with a very dark focus. Whatever, we're gonna go in with a very dark blue. So I think now would be a good time to kind of go into when is the best time to astral project. And with that being said, it is between the hours of 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. and it requires a lot of meditation and there's a whole process that we need to do beforehand. We're gonna go into how to astral project, but I feel like there's a few things we need to go into before that. We need to consider the rules, we need to consider outcomes, we need to consider side effects, we need to consider everything. Another thing is you need to maintain a healthy diet and you need to be very hydrated. It just makes your mind that much more clear and it just makes it that much more easier because when we're putting toxins and bad things into our body, it does kind of gets murky and blocks a lot of it blocks our third eye, I believe. Like if we're eating like McDonald's every day, you know what I'm saying, Taco Bell, like I love me Taco Bell, but if we're eating it every day, it's going to consume us in a different way. It's going to block our third eye. We need to be clear-minded. We need to be in a happy environment. And not only a happy environment, but just a happy state of mind. It's very, very important that you are in a happy state of mind, in a good state of mind. And you are doing fine mentally. Something to consider, we are energy conduits, but us being energy is the main ingredient when it comes to astral projecting. And energy is infinite, so it keeps going on and on and on. There's no end, there's no beginning. Kind of like how we were talking about like past lives and all that. I think like reincarnation is a very reasonable thing, more so than going to heaven, which we would all like to believe, but we're gonna get into reincarnation in one of these episodes. Let me write that down so I can remember, because I feel like reincarnation is definitely like a big one. God, on the old phone. With energy being infinite, um, there's no limit. There's no limit at all. So we are so much more powerful than we really think, and that's the craziest part. That's why like astral projection seems so crazy to people. Something also that was really interesting to me that I kind of was thinking about while I was doing my research was ghosts and the paranormal, and us being energy and conducting energy. What if like, it's not all just ghosts out there that we're talking about too. Like, say we get an EVP, okay? We want to conclude it's a ghost. Sometimes it seems like we'll get like an answer, or like it's not even necessarily an answer, but we'll get a response that is just like, what? Like, what does that mean? Like, why would we get that response? And it's because like I'm starting to think in my opinion now that it's not like it's not from the past. It could be, but like energy, right? It sticks. It's infinite. It's constantly moving. So what if like we're picking up an EVP and it's just somebody astral projecting, or like let's say we're in the future and like that energy, like something just so like big, because time is linear, right? Everything's going on at the same time, and it seems like a crazy concept, but it's very it's very real, and it's very telling. I'm gonna do a little bit more painting, and then we're gonna kind of like get into the breakdown of the CAA documents about astral projection, which I will include a link to in the bio, just in case y'all want to read it for yourselves. It's there, it's real. They did a whole spiel about it, but I'm gonna kind of summarize it. But you know, this is my research, so you can go ahead and do your own research. So now I'd kind of like to get into the steps of astral projection. First and foremost, like I said, clear mind, clear state of body, mind, whatever. But you need to cleanse yourself first, and I'm gonna tell you how. So you need to claim a white light protection. You need to say out loud, cast a white light protection over me to repel and keep any negative energy away and at bay. You also need to trust the universe. That's a very big one. You need to trust the process. There are also some like crystals you can use to help you. Crystals such as blue. I'm gonna try to pronounce this as good as I can. I'm not good at pronouncing things. Blue kyanite and selenite, which I will add some pictures. They help induce astral projection, and they also protect you from that negative energy. But you still need to cast that white light around you, and just envision a white, just that, a white light. You need to envision a white light around you, like a barrier, like a bubble to protect you. It's gonna keep everything negative away from you. So the first step is you need to lay on your back, like as if you're about to fall asleep. Try not to move your body. You need to relax, because when you move your body, it's going to tell your brain that you're not actually asleep, that you are awake. And what we need to do is trick your body into thinking it's going to sleep, so we can kind of get in there, because there's a small window where in between falling asleep and being asleep where you can astral project. You need to focus. You need to wait until that moment that you feel like you are falling asleep. Once you reach the hypnotic state, you need to focus on your body parts. You need to start with your toes. When you're focusing on your body parts from the bottom up, you need to visualize that you're moving these body parts, but not actually move them. You need to just visualize it. There is going to become a point where you reach a vibrational transition. It's going to feel like you're supposed to just know. Like, it's supposed to just be a feeling of vibration. It's gonna be the vibrational shift. And you're gonna feel, it's gonna be like more of an internal vibration. Once you start vibrating, that's when you're transitioning. And once you feel yourself starting to transition, you need to use your brain to remove your soul from your body. You need to visualize that you are coming out of your body. Also, once you reach the state of astral projection, you need to visualize a cord holding you from your physical body to you. That way, it's easier to come back. You know where to go back to in case things go wrong. The most important thing you can do in this whole process is everything to be safe, like literally everything. And I'm telling you, the cord, you need to visualize the cord between your body and your soul. That way, there's no problems. We need to talk about like some things that can go wrong when you're astral projecting. First thing that is very common with astral projection is sleep paralysis. I'm not saying just because you have sleep paralysis means that you are going to always be able to have the ability to astral project, but it does mean that you are more likely to be able to do so. So what is sleep paralysis? So sleep paralysis is a temporary inability to move or speak while falling asleep or waking up. But basically it's just when your brain is still in REM mode, which is rapid eye movement. It's a whole thing. It has to do with lucid dreaming and sleeping and deep sleeping. I mean, not lucid dreaming, but deep sleeping. But your body's awake. And so when your brain's still in REM mode and your body's awake, it makes it very difficult to move. There are some things you can kind of do to get out of sleep paralysis if this is like a new thing for you, because this is something I've never experienced. I have personally never ever experienced sleep paralysis before, but that seems scary as shit. I've heard some stories, and yeah, I was gonna make sleep paralysis into like a segment for my channel, but I figured it's pretty like cut and dry. I could explain it to y'all in like 3 minutes flat, you know what I mean? It's nothing like that crazy or special. It's just like a condition that people have, and it's just something that happens to people. But if you ever like stuck in this position where you feel like you are experiencing sleep paralysis, one of the biggest things that I've researched, which y'all that experience sleep paralysis probably already know. If you're experiencing sleep paralysis because you are astral projecting, or just in general, what they recommend you do is to kind of focus on moving one body part at a time, like your toes or your fingers, you know, something small, light. Start by, you know, again, picturing yourself moving your fingers and your toes, and then gradually move on to, you know, attempting to move any sort of your body at all, honestly, because as soon as you start to like be able to get any sort of movement in, or even make like a gasp or anything, it starts to get your brain going and realizing like, oh hey, yeah, I'm awake, I need to like wake up now. So yeah, basically like just if you focus on making any sort of movement, it'll override the sleep paralysis and it'll get you out of there. But like I said, I've never experienced sleep paralysis, so I genuinely believe it is not as easy as that. It's not cut and dry, but you know what I mean? Explaining it is cut and dry, but people have some crazy experiences, and I've heard a bunch of stories and how scary it can be. And part of me kind of like wants to know what it's like, but 60% of me doesn't, so. But there's a thing that people say, if you experience sleep paralysis, it is a gift. Okay, it's something positive out of something negative. It's a gift. It's a gateway to astral projection, so keep that in mind, folks. But while we're like talking about sleep paralysis, though, I think it's important to note that the obvious, maybe not so obvious, but a lot of people tend to like experience seeing demons or shadow people. Some have even reported seeing the Hat Man. I actually had my own experience with the Hat Man. It was my very first dream when I was like 5 years old, but I'm gonna save that story for my next segment for dreaming and lucid dreaming, because that is a crazy freaking story, and that is a crazy dream, and the fact that I remember it to this day so vividly, I could draw it out for you. And I know that there's like a lot of like jokes about sleep paralysis demons, but it's a real thing. It's a real thing. And there's a lot of jokes about the Hat Man too, but if I had not experienced like the Hat Man, like myself, I would probably think that that was like some BS, you know what I mean? Like, it sounds fake. It doesn't sound like something real, but a lot of people unironically experience the Hat Man. And there's no connection, there's no correlation, there's no like nothing. This is just something people crazily like just experience. Next we're gonna get into the consciousness matrix. It states the universe is composed of interacting energy fields, some at rest and some in motion. It is in of itself one gigantic hologram of unbelievable complexity. As the human mind is also a hologram which attunes itself to the universal hologram by the medium of energy exchange, thereby deducing meaning and achieving the state which we call consciousness. I have just been like so out of it all morning. I've been trying to like find the like motivation to come and like just to finish this YouTube video and to finish this painting. And I forget like how calming this really is. Like it's very relaxing, honestly. And I don't know what's gotten into me today. So I'm glad I'm finishing this. And honestly, I think when I woke up this morning and I saw I had like lost 2 YouTube subscribers. I was a little sad. So I think that's like most of the reason. But I'm not gonna let it stop me. So we're gonna continue keeping on. You know. I'm hoping that with this video, I will not only make back the 2 subscribers that I lost, but I will also gain more because I think this is something different. I mean, I know this is kind of, I mean, I've painted on my channel before, but this is definitely something different. It's definitely a different vibe, and it's something I want to continue doing. So I really hope like that people will enjoy this as much as I enjoy it. And it takes a lot of time and effort to put this together. This is my first time using this new camera that I have. I think next time I paint, I'm definitely gonna go for a smaller canvas, and maybe like a taller chair. But you know, baby steps. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there for sure. Next on the list is time-space dimension. It says that energy in the state of inactive infinity is termed by physicists as energy in its absolute state, or simply the absolute. Between the absolute and the material universe in which we experience our physical existence are various intervening dimensions to which human consciousness in altered states of being may gain access. Next is intervening dimensions. Since the absolute is conscious energy in infinity, it occupies every dimension to include the time-space dimension in which we have our physical existence, but we cannot perceive it. Number 22, special status, out-of-body experience. Although human consciousness can, with enough practice, move beyond the dimension of time and space and interface with other energy systems and other dimensions, the entire process is completely enhanced if that consciousness can be detached in large measure from the physical body before such interface is attempted. Another thing that's very interesting that is in this document is number 25, called Our Place in Time. It states the observed distribution of galaxies suggests that our particular universe is located near the top of the egg at the point where matter begins to fall back on itself. I feel like that's gonna have to be fine for the blanket and the pillow. I still need to go over the bottom blanket, but it's looking pretty chippy. I'm gonna go over the skin tone, like, I wanna give her more of a glow, I think. It seems like this document continues to explain how sound frequencies can really affect your brain waves and your state of mind and all that. So I find it really interesting if you take the time to want to look at this document. It kind of goes into more of the details that you're looking for when it comes to all those sounds. But it states that humming will put you into or at least help you go into that vibrational state. So the next and the last thing I'm going to talk about is focus 15 and focus 21, which is travel into the past and travel into the future. Okay, this is just giving slow. Yes, it looks so good on camera. So first is travel into the past. The technique of time travel into the past involves further expansion of consciousness through the inclusion of additional levels of sound, basically just subliminal suggestions to the mind as to what is desired. It is a very advanced state and is extremely difficult to achieve. Next is the future, the last and most advanced of all focus states. Shortest paragraph in the document, and honestly all it says is that it's a truly advanced level and that it pretty much only happens on accident. All right, it's finished. I just gotta put some gloss over it and call it a day, but here we go. I'm gonna start from the top and then kind of like go down to the bottom. trying to get it far away. Look. I did pretty good. I'm pretty proud of myself, honestly. But yeah, that concludes this episode. Next episode is going to be a ghost hunting video. Next episode is going to be a ghost hunting video. Gonna do some paranormal investigations, get back out there. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Please, it would mean so much to me if you guys subscribe to my channel, gave this video a like, comment, anything to kind of keep it in the algorithm and get more subscribers. It would mean the absolute world to me because I've been working so hard on this. This has been work for sure. This whole video has been a learning experience, and it would just mean so much to me. But bye guys.